Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Dose of Dysfunction. I'm your life coach, and with me is the resident redneck.
Howdy, y'all.
And for round two, Matt.
Round two. What's up?
See? Oh, look, we got a little more life out of him, too.
Yeah, no, we fired him up a little bit. So this is
We did.
Yeah, it's all that conspiracy talk. Gets me horny.
It gets me horny.
You make me so horny.
Do I make you horny, baby? I can't do the what is that? Who's the guy?
Or or whatever.
Yeah, I'm no good at that.
Was
no,
it- or no, it's Austin
It's
Powers.
Austin Powers all by itself. Yeah.
What is it? Do I make you horny, baby?
Right.
It's very dirty. Like when you click into that personality, you're just like, I need a shower now.
Right. Here we go. And I'm trying to. I don't know what I got
You
going
even know
on
what
here.
The fuck you're doing
No,
over
I don't, because there we go. I was trying to go to Stream Manager to make sure that we were all where we needed to be on Twitch, because I'm massively fucking this up. But luckily for me,
I'm really curious as to how they came up with that name. Like, let's create this website and everything, and then it's Twitch, right?
hey, I'm brilliant. Put on your headphones.
Are you brilliant?
I fucking figured it out, I think.
We'll see.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, here we go.
I think I
Round
got it
two.
right.
Oh,
Because
like-
we're live,
Take
and
off my hat and fucking hit the microphone.
you're fucking everything up. Don't
I'm
blame me for
horrible.
your problems. You can hear everybody, huh?
Yeah,
I can hear you.
I'm good.
Yeah, I
Yeah?
can hear Matt in my right ear. I can hear you in my left ear. I
Yeah.
can hear me in my own head.
And what
That's
can't you
dangerous.
hear? The delay.
Yeah, I can't hear the delay. I can hear the dog losing his
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
But
But I think I figured this shit out. Man, I'm advancing. I am so proud of myself right now. You have no idea. No idea.
one small step for technology, one huge step for the
Life,
Life
coach.
coach.
Oh my God. I have changed my own life for the better. So we had some fun last episode, but
Yep.
I have an idea for this one. So I was thinking about this last night, and it came to me, especially because we do this like explain shit to the redneck,
Oh yes.
but we're gonna allow the redneck to explain some stuff. So,
Ooh, okay. I'm game.
well,
I can think of one immediately.
then we may have to get to it. But I was thinking of questions, and at some point we'll do it the other way. But this is questions that other countries don't understand about American culture, like questions
Okay,
they have
okay.
about American
There's
culture.
a lot, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I bet Matt knows all of these. Oh, and you'll notice if you watch him, he'll get so sidetracked.
Oh
with
yeah, I
the-
get way off topic, or like I'm looking over here, Jeeping 450. Hello.
yeah. You must be.
Yes, I am on my.
Well, that's fine. Draw people in. Tell them to listen to the
Yeah.
show. Okay. So, question:
Okay.
why they don't use the metric system? And another thing: why the fuck is the month first and then the day? So, in other countries,
Numerical order.
no, you're incorrect.
I don't know. I'm guessing you. I'm guessing you wanted me to explain it to you. I'm guessing.
Okay. Well, first, why don't we use a metric system, Mr. Redneck?
My guess in that is created by the tool companies, so that we'll buy 2 sets of tools instead of 1.
I could see that.
Right? Because now you have foreign cars and foreign shit using metric stuff, so you got to have a whole set of metric tools, right? And then you have our dumbasses who are like,
imperial,
let's make them
yeah.
just a touch different and fuck with all of our people.
Yeah.
And now they have to buy 2 sets of wrenches, and let's keep Snap-on in business, right? Like that to me,
That's
that's the,
capitalism.
Right?
I could see that.
Yeah, but we were using inches and stuff like that before we got.
I
to-
got an agreement on the TikTok.
You're like tickety talk is
Uh-huh.
with me. I will agree with it in the sense of that I actually will go with we as Americans like to dig our heels in
Yeah.
and not be like
No,
everybody
I
else.
think that's exactly what it is. Yeah.
And it's like, no, you fuckers can go play with your tens and hundreds. We're gonna show you how this shit can really work.
I got asked 2 random questions.
Oh, let's do it.
So the first random question is, how many years can a president serve in office? And I'm going to tell you that as president, you can serve a total of 8. Right? I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. That's the normal is 8, right? If you get reelected. But you can serve in a level of office for fucking ever.
Okay, you could actually theoretically serve up to almost 12 years.
Yeah.
As president?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so think
But
of it.
there's a caveat to it. though.
Yeah, the caveat is this. Okay, we'll use the current administration
I
and
got
not.
nope. Thanks.
They don't like
I
that.
got nope 10 years.
Oh, was it 10? I can't remember because I think there's because that kind of sounds familiar. So you can have 2 4-year elections, but then I can't remember what the stipulation is. But it's like a 2-year, and it has. I think it might have something to do with like the vice president, and like I don't know. I can't remember. But yeah, it sounds familiar. 10.
My guess would be, and maybe I'm totally wrong, is if something was to happen to the president, right, the vice president, then becomes
Yeah,
the
I think
acting
that's
president. I don't know how long they'll allow them to do that.
So there's like a cutoff.
So the vice president becomes president,
but not serving
but
a
then-
full term. They can add that to his
but then
full.
yeah, exactly.
Okay, I get that.
So, and 10 may
Look it
be
up.
correct.
No,
Yeah,
I drink way too much beer to look that shit up.
You
I
were-
knew it
told
was.
me to look it
I knew it was
up.
either 10 or 12.
I think your listener is way too smart for us. So,
Oh yeah, this listener is way out of. I also got asked if I could say "Happy Birthday, Jagoff." So I don't know. We're gonna leave that there.
okay.
Because
I
yes,
don't-
I
To
can say
whoever that's to.
Yes. But as to the other thing,
within 2 years. So technically, you could serve 9 years and 11 months,
okay,
right?
roughly 10 years.
Roughly 10 years.
Yeah, that makes sense. I just knew there's a caveat to more than 8.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now that we've gotten that out of the way.
So in the rest of the world, the way they'll write the date is they do, but it's day, month, year.
Okay.
So
My guess being numeric order, right? This short one first, because you can only go to 12. Then in the second one, you can go to 30 or 31, right? But in the last one, you go, I mean, we could have 5 digits eventually, right?
well,
So I'm just
theoretically,
thinking
yeah.
of it in like that. You can only go to 12. You can only go to 31.
I think more simple
Maybe
than
I'm
that.
wrong.
It's just going
Probably
like
wrong.
smallest to largest, like small.
Yeah, and
I
Because,
did
like-
get us thinking.
I would.
That could be dangerous.
I think
Yeah.
in other countries, the idea is, well, what do you care about most? You care most about what day it is, as
Yeah.
opposed to
Yeah.
what month it is. Like,
Then
yeah.
what does that say about American psychology?
Oh,
If
shit.
if we think the month needs to come first, why is that? Probably has to do with money somehow.
oh yeah, and
Oh,
order.
yeah.
Holidays.
I'm sure some sort of
there's
order
some
and
sort of
some.
psychological.
Well, yeah, because everything we do with inside that month. Think
Yeah.
of that. Oh, it's January. I'm gonna
we
have
got to do this and that and
right.
Yeah.
December comes along. Oh, we
Yeah.
got Christmas coming. We
Yeah.
got this. So I would agree with you there. I think it's
Yeah.
much more.
But it's funny because the military does day month time.
Yeah. Oh, that's
So-
right. They do, which makes. I actually do think it makes more sense because the day's way more important.
Yeah. I like it.
You're fucking retarded.
But even
That's a little aggressive. Okay, that's super aggressive.
or like but in America, if you write out the date, one style of doing it is day month time, but you actually write it out. You put like 4 and then spell out January, comma 2000 whatever.
So if you work in like DOS based systems and that, or
Yeah,
old school systems, that's one of like we use at work.
Ah,
That's one of the ways you have to do the date. It's the day, the 3-letter month,
yeah,
and then
Yeah,
the
yep.
2-digit year, which is a pain in the ass to remember. So, but
okay.
that's okay. Next, we'll go on
Yeah,
to
what
number
else you
2.
got?
And this is one because I like this stuff, so it hits a little home for me. The importance sports have in college. That is
Yeah,
a distinctly American thing. And
Yeah.
you're about to get fired up.
Because
I
yeah,
have to answer this question real quick. Favorite Star Wars movie is I've never seen any of them.
It's Return of the Jedi. It's got to be there.
That's like blasphemy.
yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen all the new ones, but I think if you're doing it, Return of the Jedi is the shit. That's the one it's at.
Yeah, I honestly
What's your pronouns? Oh boy.
pronouns. Yeah.
Not you.
Motherfucker.
There you go.
That's a good,
Yeah.
that's my-
I don't know what's gonna get me laid.
Right? These days, you never know. I'm gender fluid. Just
Yeah.
depends on the situation.
The military also uses military time,
Yeah, or Zulu time,
Zulu time. Yeah. Which is what I have on my phone.
or
I'm having a
they
hard time
they might
learning
just
it, but
mean
I'm trying.
oh Zulu time's way different than military time. I was talking. I thought.
I don't know
Never
what
mind.
Zulu time is.
Yeah, it's like
Sounds
a
like something you would say at
global
a strip club.
time system.
Oh.
It's
But-
Zulu time.
What fucking
I
strip
don't
club
know.
did you hear that?
No, but military time.
I
yeah.
just saying it could be fun. I don't know.
Now I know what you're talking about, like 2400 or 1830 or
Yeah,
Oh,
he tried to
God.
tell me it was easier or something, and then we're looking at his
It-
phone one
it's
day, and he's
easy
like,
if you think about it for a quick second.
he's like,
if you do it long enough, you just get it down.
Yeah.
It's easy.
he's
Yeah.
like, oh my god, it's this time, and I'm like,
I love Zero Dark 30.
oh Jesus Christ, and we're in the movies. All right, but
Oh,
again, the importance of sports in college.
fuck. I don't know. The part that I like about sports is it actually activates your brain in different ways.
In a
There's-
strategic way, it does,
Yeah.
I believe.
So it's more about if you're in college, right? You're getting your extra education. Let's add some sports in there to make that education stick. I'm totally in for it because
Yeah.
it's activating your brain and making you smarter and whatever. But I also believe that the best portion of I just got time limited. The best part about sports in college is that's where you're actually going to try the
hardest, yeah.
That's where you're
Yeah.
working the hardest in your sports
Yeah.
because you got to create this next generation of entertainment.
And everyone wants to get drafted. Everyone wants to be a millionaire. So they
Well-
play harder.
I have my own big take on it.
I got to help put down the 3-year-old. I haven't seen her in 2 days because she spent the night at grandma's last night, and so I
You're
got to help
good.
put down the.
We can hold down the
3-year-old.
fort.
We can
Oh,
we
I'm
can
sure you
either
guys will be
keep
fine.
we can keep going or we can pause it. It's all up to you, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm totally game with pausing it, and then I'll just turn the TikTok at you, and you can answer their wild questions, like how right is the
Are you
Farmer's
fine?
Almanac?
Well, me and Matt will just keep going on this.
Yeah,
if you
that's
wanna
fine.
jump back in.
That's fine. I got to take off for a second, so
All right. Well, I ain't got shit on Instagram, so
I'll turn my TikTok to you.
okay, that works. And I'll just let Instagram do its thing because they all suck. Anyway, well, my belief system in this is actually that
Y'all get to hang out with the life coach and Matt.
Oop.
yeah,
By the way, the last question was how right. Oh, you can still see it.
I can't read it from
It's
here.
how accurate is the Farmer's Almanac?
It depends on
Yeah.
yeah. It depends on what information you want to pull out of it is accurate, is what it is.
Yeah. There's so many years. The Farmer's Almanac is. I don't know where our viewers are from, but here
What? It's TikTok, so they're all
be
over the
anywhere, yeah.
place. Yeah.
So here in Idaho, in like 2016, we had what we call around here as a snowmageddon or the snowpocalypse.
Right.
And we just got hammered with several feet of snow, and it just never let up. Which here we're in a valley, we don't get that much snow, and we have an influx of out of staters, people moving here from all over, and they're not used to driving in the snow. And
Well, the only thing that bothered me about Snowpocalypse is every year after that,
Yeah,
the almanac
that's what
has
I'm
been
getting
like,
at. Yeah, that's
oh, we're gonna have this.
yeah, every year it's like we're gonna have another snowpocalypse, and then it never happened.
Oh, I think this person is saying historically the farmer.
Uh,
I think once upon a time, I think it had a value, but accurate.
Yeah.
I doubt it's
yeah,
all that
I
accurate.
think it's more of
historically.
a farmer's guide.
Yeah.
Just like I don't know.
I think it's a great way to evaluate trends. Like
Yeah.
people saying, "Oh, we've seen this, we do this, we see," because you got an ebb and
Yeah.
flow to everything, so you're
Yeah.
gonna wind up seeing some trends. So
Yeah, I agree.
that to me is more. It's and somebody hit lots of buttons. Anyway,
Well,
I don't know. There's like lots of letters, and I don't quite know what they meant. So it's all good. For me, the importance of sports having college is actually multiple things. Number one, I'm going to tell you this person has a number which looks like it's 80%, which bravo, farmers.
80% for
The Farmer's Almanac.
is 80% accurate or what?
Yeah, that's what the person is saying, that it's 80% accurate.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, yeah, the majority of it I think is I've honestly never read the Farmer's Almanac, so I can't say what it entails, but
The only thing I've ever thought about for it is the snow. Like,
Yeah.
because that's
Yeah,
one,
exactly. Yeah.
around here, a lot of people are like, oh, the Farmer's Almanac says this is going to be a dry year or
Yeah.
a wet year.
Yeah.
That's more often
It's
what
like-
we use it for.
So is the Farmer's Almanac what's basically like tell you like for all of your crops what time of year to start planting, when to harvest, when to like is that what?
Yeah, that's I think what the intended use is it gives you historical. I think there's some of it gives you historical data, which I haven't totally read, and I think they said yes to something, so I must have
Oh,
gotten
okay.
something right in there. But I know typically I think it follows that kind of curve and the idea of the trends that are seen to give you an idea of how
Yeah.
planting and crops and what kind
Yeah.
of year you're going to have. And so I think some of it goes into like what to plant that year and stuff like that, what you'll have better harvests of.
Gotcha.
But again, I'm no pro by
Yeah,
any means.
yeah, me neither. We're just kind of
We're winging it.
yeah.
It's all good. But no, sports, I believe, have multiple facets, and I'm a huge sports fan, but I
Mhm.
think the multiple facets in college, especially in which I get in other countries, they're looking at it as mainly an educational thing, right? You go to school to get the
To learn.
yeah, to learn and get the skills. But in the US,
Mm,
because we're capitalists,
yep.
it's cheap labor.
Yeah. Free labor.
Yep. Entertainment, because the money
Yeah.
they make off of your free
Off
labor.
the viewerships.
Oh,
off
yeah.
Off the like think about March Madness. None of those athletes get paid.
Correct.
None of them get paid.
Yeah.
But how many billions of dollars does this make the TV channels, the
Networks.
ESPN, the networks? Yeah, it's basically
And it's all in the level of amateur, but it's also a way to groom people
yeah.
in the sense of it teaches you to be the good worker that shows up and does what they're supposed to do because you're part of a team,
Yeah.
and it sets people up for jobs later in life.
Yeah.
But it's that idea, I think, more so in the education system in the United States is used more to create good workers, right, than
Mhm.
it is to create intelligent children.
Yeah. No, that and actually, that's something I'm learning a lot about in school right now. Because I know I mentioned this to Brock earlier. I don't know if you're in the room or not. I'm, I have a bad memory. No, I was talking to you. So I'm going to school right now for geoscience with a secondary education emphasis. So basically, to be a junior high or high school teacher, and a lot of what I'm learning right now is exactly that. Like our education system is shit, and it was literally designed to indoctrinate and to get people into the workforce to make money.
Oh yeah,
And to
100%.
that's literally all school is. And so like right now what I'm learning is basically we're trying to like undo that in a sense, which kind of blew my mind because I'm like, I'm going to college, which is like one of the most woke places you can go.
Oh my god.
What?
I'm back.
Okay.
Woo.
Here to fuck shit up, and I heard the word woke.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He's about to
College
be triggered.
is woke
Oh,
territory.
boy.
Yeah, you better find your safe space.
You're in my safe
Yeah,
space right
oh,
now,
yeah.
okay?
Okay, well then we're good.
But
Ah.
so that's why I say sports, as much as I love them, it is part of that.
Yeah, it is.
And
Yeah.
as much as, and we're so good at designing it, is exactly like Brock said. Well, it teaches you to work as a team, but it makes you feel responsibility for the other people. It creates all these things, and it activates your brain. And sure, you can be good
And
tacticians,
there's-
but
yeah, exactly.
it also feeds the American
But-
dream.
Yeah. And I think exactly, it's all just like all of that stuff is just kind of a byproduct. It's just kind of a result of like it's actually like what it's actually designed to do, which is make money. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah, I was gonna say
that's
if you look at it in the perspective of how are we gonna benefit from this, right?
Mhm.
These kids that are playing sports and are really good at it, right? And they're being brought into the professional world. If you took the dollar figure out of how much you paid and technically your employee of the team, right? If you took that dollar figure out, what's the point? What's the point of playing a sport if there's no in game?
well
right?
for the love of the game, which I think would make sports more pure.
I think it would make.
I think this is corrupted.
I would tell
modern
you why
sports.
do we go play softball?
it's fun.
No, it's fun. No,
That's because we're testing the physical abilities of what we still have left.
There
well,
you go.
right, but we
And
still,
somebody's got to keep ibuprofen and aspirin in business.
but it's
Right.
because we've never
Single-handedly.
lost the I could have been somebody mentality.
I don't think it's that. I think it's more. It's the love of the sport.
Yeah,
I do.
and it's fun, but like Matt said, it would make it more pure because think about it. You take a lot of these guys, it is just money to them.
Yeah, that's
You'd have
literally
you get rid of the floppers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you'd get rid of a lot
no
of
more
guys.
LeBron Jameses.
Yes, I love it. I love it. You tell them, Matt, because when I do it, apparently it's just.
I again, he's a dude with a platform and he's maximized what he's been given. I can't
Yeah.
fault the guy for
Yeah.
that. I mean, there isn't
I
one
mean,
person.
I can, but
Yeah.
Well, but I will say there's not one person in this room that wouldn't, given those opportunities or that physical ability.
oh no, for sure. But then when he starts going woke in politics, that's he's stepping outside of his.
Yeah, at that
know what I
point,
mean?
you know he's not there 100% anymore for the love
It's
of
like
sport.
so the thing is he has like a lifetime contract with Nike, and it's tied with China, and
Oh, I'm sure.
and he's out here talking about oppression and racism and all these things that are wrong with but it's like that's literally exactly what's happening in China. Like you have a contract, billions of dollars of worth of money in these contracts with China, and it's all on the backs of slaves.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So it's like,
Right.
but he'll stand
That's
up
why
here.
your Nikes are never the same size.
Yeah,
I don't wear Nikes.
I mean, yeah, I don't either.
I'm
me
sure my
neither.
crap's still probably made in China, but I don't.
Right, but I won't.
Yeah.
I like we've talked about it before. I absolutely refuse to buy things that.
Where are Brooks Running made? Because man, they're wonderful fucking shoes.
Yeah.
So that
Well-
little Taiwanese kid did a hell of a job.
Yeah.
Right, right.
Before I get canceled, I'm just
Yeah, before you
joking.
get my life suspended.
Right?
Well, I mean, it's a sad reality of the world, though. I mean,
it is.
it's outsourcing. It's super cheap labor, basically slave labor, and it's but it just pisses me off because like people like LeBron are like all about justice and equality and like fighting racism and fighting oppression,
Right.
and yet when his hypocrisy with his contract with China and Nike is brought up, he turns silent. I mean,
Well,
he
and that's like the same thing.
and it's because it's only about money, and then it makes you wonder: does he really even give a fuck about like?
Right. Well, because if you're gonna
yeah.
be on the same train with the equality and everything, and I learned this morning actually about the shooting in New York.
New York, yeah,
That
Right.
the guy was a super racist piece of shit because as being your racist redneck. I'm not as racist as it would, people look at me like, oh my God, he's racist. I'm really not.
No,
Yeah.
but we say that in the most lovable way.
Yeah. So where is he on that? Well, you
Yeah.
can't do that
I
because
mean,
technically
honestly-
that's not racism. The
and
guy
that-
was black. But I mean,
no, it is.
oh yeah.
He's what would that? It would be a black supremacist then. That's still racist.
Well, it's labeled as a racist supremacist, and
See,
because you don't label it as a
Well,
black supremacist,
is-
it's not now you're being racist by calling it
In
that.
the U.S.,
So yeah, in the U.S.
In the U.S., it is the majority rules. Minorities have rights. If you're in the majority, you're not allowed to. Your commentary cannot be that. If they're already part of the minority, they're already oppressed, and you can't make. Therefore, they can't be oppressing you because you're the majority.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why.
Yeah.
And it's funny because every little, I haven't read any articles, but every article like I've seen pop up in my feed and stuff, none of them said anything about a black guy.
Yeah, well, I
No,
haven't
it-
even seen
it
a
said-
picture.
It's just like
Oh, I've seen a picture.
Oh, well, but
the only thing I saw that led me to figure out what was going on was a meme, and it was like photo taken moments before the shooting, and then it's like a picture of a subway, and it's obviously a joke, and then it's a bunch of like white, like Californian yuppie guys, like like a whole
Right.
group of them standing in the subway, and I was like, what is this all about? So now it's like kind of making sense. But they're not going to talk about that. They're not going to talk
No,
about
because it doesn't fit the narrative
No.
that they're trying to smear.
exactly.
Which
well, here's the next thing people don't understand. Let's
Okay,
let's
yeah.
smear some more narratives here.
yeah,
Okay. Homecoming. Would someone please explain what a homecoming is? I love this one because in school, but think
oh,
about
by
that.
the way, the Cubs won.
Woohoo!
Go Cubs.
Go Cubbies. Well, think about it though. In school, right? That's the big thing. We have those, but
Yeah.
again, I get why they don't understand it because it's tied to
Well,
sports.
well, and it might even not be like, in my opinion, like maybe this is something from like it could have been from like the 1920s, 1930s, and it's just some like really old American tradition.
That's true.
I don't know. When I think of homecoming, especially with the whole like Iraq thing going on and everything that happened, and coming home and all
Yeah,
that, that's what I think of is more or less
And
soldiers
that's-
coming home.
maybe that's where it originated from.
Well, I was gonna say, did homecomings start? I would say maybe after World War
II, maybe, yeah,
in that idea of
or World War I or II, yeah.
right,
I'm coming home.
well,
I'm coming home.
but in high school, the idea is you've played like an away game or two, and
Yep.
they
And
put
now
it
you're-
normally or in the middle of the season
Yeah.
somewhere, and that's the homecoming.
Yeah.
But I could see it being tied to because, and I actually brutally hate this when, when athletes try to, man, we went to war, we went to
Yes,
battle.
yes,
It's like
that's-
you are not a soldier, and
that's
this is
how
a
it always
game.
and that's how it always
Yeah.
is in high school too. I mean, and you see it a lot in football, obviously.
Yeah.
Well, it's a mentality.
So
Because it's a brotherhood. and
Yeah,
all that,
exactly.
I'm doing this
There-
for the team. I'm not the best, but I'm here for backup. Whatever. I'm here for the team.
yeah, but it's not life or death.
right.
So
Right.
I don't think you get to compare it to war.
No, and I totally agree. I don't think that's a fair justification to the people who actually
Mm.
don't have a right leg because they had to actually sacrifice something. I mean, you sat on the sideline for 20 minutes while your team beat another team. They didn't sit on the sideline. They got sidelined because something took their right half of their body off.
Yeah.
And that's something that is I believe is like a sacrifice that you can't. There's no such thing as, I tore my knee my ACL trying to win the big game,
state
right?
championship. Yeah.
Right.
100%.
Yeah. So that sacrifice is dumb in my opinion. But when you're fighting for your country's, fighting for a country or anything like that, there's meaning and there's actual sacrifice. Not just I boo-booed myself, and now it's like they come home and, oh shit, he got boo-booed,
Yeah.
now has this piece of equipment that he has to check on an airplane and, all that. And so, no, and I don't think it's a great thing by any means. A homecoming to me is something that you should give to people who've earned it.
Yeah. I could see where other countries though
Don't understand that.
Honestly, I feel like most Americans don't understand it.
No,
We're
they
like,
don't.
we don't know why we have it or what it is.
Yeah.
It just is, and
we
it
just
always
do
has
it
been.
because they told
It
us
was
to.
generated to sell more beer in that middle of the season when we really sucked.
I thought I might get to touch a boob or a butt at the dance. That's all.
Yeah.
homecoming
dance. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
No,
Look.
I can agree. There's also one that I seen when, and it mainly is soccer because football is here,
yeah.
and
Wait,
I know
you're
that
gonna-
baseball is big in
You're gonna
Japan.
talk about soccer on like a level tone. You have that capability.
Yeah. It's more or less they don't understand why we play the national anthem at the beginning of every sporting event, right? Because
Yeah.
they play theirs at the beginning of every large sporting event, the World Cup and shit like that.
Yeah.
They don't just soccer between the two teams or baseball between two Japanese teams. They're like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
And they play ball.
Yeah, it's like here you'll have the national anthem at like a pee-wee like t-ball game. you
Yeah.
know?
Well,
Like-
but again, it goes back to it's not to go totally down a road, but it goes back to well, it's
That's what we do
pageantry.
here.
Yeah.
Well, it's pageantry,
Yeah.
which we love. Like it goes back to entertainment, pageantry, but it's training.
yeah.
It puts
Nationalism.
nationalism, and it also creates ties into the American dream. You hear that, it conditions you to believe you can do anything you want to do, even though the
Yeah.
percentage of you being professional at any of it are minuscule. But
Yeah.
little Jimmy,
Oh,
Jimmy
yeah.
did it, so I can do it too.
I can tell you this though, as somebody who played sports in high school, it was like stepping into another world
Yeah,
when you got on the field, right? Like I'm sure you played some
Yeah.
kind of sport in high school.
I
right?
played a little football for a
Okay.
year or so. I ran track. I played sports. I grew up playing sports. I
Right.
love sports. I'm not in any way, shape, or form. The things I say isn't trying to take away from the fact I love them.
Oh, yeah.
I call it like stadium therapy, right?
Yep.
Going to the football game,
Yeah.
screaming my head off.
Yeah.
It's great entertainment. I love it. I appreciate that 18 and 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds are willing to strap on pads and go give themselves brain damage for my entertainment. I 100% love it. But at the same time, even knowing what I know, if I could go back to being 18 or 19 and get an opportunity to do it myself, fuck it, I'm in.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know?
Well, I mean, that's why we still play.
But
softball.
it's no different. It's like a drug, right? It kicks the
Yep.
endorphins up. I get that dopamine release, and I'm
Mhm.
taken right back into whatever it is. It's an addiction like anything else.
Yeah.
But I'm not necessarily hurting myself or anybody else. I totally understand the sports thing, but it is a great tool to control people.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, I could get that. And us have playing high school sports, I still don't feel like, and I've stepped out onto the field like this is the game, this is the one we have to, we got to win, and and that's always the intent when soldiers step foot somewhere. They're like, we have to win. It's just on a much heavier scale.
Yeah.
We lose, we die. Right? When we step onto the football field or the softball field, we may blow a hammy, but we're not going to die by any means. We
Right.
can lose the game and go home, drink a beer, and go, we'll get them next time, bud.
Yeah, we can be bummed out, but
Right.
we're going to get over it.
Our homecoming is ultimately nothing compared to what Matt's homecoming of being deployed and coming back is ultimately all about.
Yeah.
So I totally feel that homecoming in sports and in high schools and college and all that shit is a load of trash, and it should just be the fucking 5th game of the season.
Just needs a new name or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I you could call it the mid-season dance. Who the fuck cares?
Exactly.
I mean,
Exactly.
again, though, I think it goes back to pageantry and everything else,
Yeah.
and also too, I think it goes back to a time where our social events, we didn't have so much technology.
Yeah.
So-
like you said, back to the 50s,
Yeah, that's your social event, bringing people together, doing those things.
Yeah.
How do you create those? Where now we're like, oh,
That's just a hoedown.
yeah, it's hey, Billy's online. Let's go blow shit up in Call of Duty. Yeah,
All right.
That's anyway. Sorry.
Billy's online. Let's go kill some shit.
Yeah, let's groom ourselves to be virtual warriors,
right?
Yeah.
And now it's
Keyboard-
funny because
keyboard
like
warriors.
military commercials are like totally playing on that now.
Oh yeah,
Where they'll I actually saw one the other day that was exactly like that. It was basically like this kid playing video games, and they made it seem all cool and like heroic and shit, and then it like transitioned into like you could basically be doing this in the military, and it's like trying to appeal to that like gamer generation.
They hit that in the beginning too, because they take little Johnny or whoever who's playing this video game, right? And then they zoom it into the video game, right? You're no longer watching little Jimmy play the video game. You're watching little Jimmy run around inside the video game. And so it gives you that whole aspect of, look, little Jimmy, you could be this hero.
yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I do think it's sad that we actually sell the military to people, like to our citizens. We sell it. Well, we do.
We do.
That's propaganda.
Well, think about it as a citizen. When somebody goes, "Oh, this is military grade," this will never be destroyed, right? This is the best. But when military people hear this is military grade, they're like, "Great, I'm gonna have to work on it all the fucking time."
Yeah.
It's like, because you know what the military does? They find the cheapest.
Well, yeah, they're like every corporation.
Yeah.
It's like,
Military guys like, great, they got it from the dollar store.
Yeah.
how can we maximize our profits on this?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
No, I get it. All right. HOAs.
Yeah, we don't understand those either.
Yeah.
And we all hate them. We all hate them.
It says it baffles me that people don't have permission to do certain things to their own
The
home.
first person who can
insane.
explain to me and not piss me off or fucking confuse the shit out of me with a fucking HOA, I'll buy you a fucking beer. The HOA is the largest load of horse shit ever
It's
fucking
just
pressed on.
another way to make
Fuck
money.
you, Karen.
Yeah,
They're all Karens. Yeah.
it's another way to. That's why I'd never buy a house in that has a place that has an
no.
HOA
I refuse.
for that exact reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's insane.
When
And you hear horror stories about HOAs all the time. I remember.
Yeah.
I remember up in Washington State, there was a guy who installed like a wind turbine, like to generate electricity on his own property, and he got fined and threatened to be arrested unless he took it down.
Yeah.
And then you have another story I heard of a couple in Florida who had a garden. And same thing. They literally just had a garden in their yard. And
Oh yeah.
But somebody didn't find it visually appealing
Yeah.
to their. Yeah.
Somebody somewhere had a 72 Cutlass with a barbecuer in the
Yeah.
trunk, and it just galled somebody to the point where they were like, "Not happening. You cannot have a barbecuer at all in the front of your house."
Yeah,
So
that-
if I join a place that has an HOA, can I go start punching neighbors because the visual aesthetic of their face just isn't meshing with what I want in my neighborhood?
if you're part of the HOA.
Yeah,
Oh,
only if you
okay.
pay your HOA dues.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, because that's what I want to do. I want to pay somebody else
my
to tell
God.
me how
Well,
I
and that's
can
the
live
other
my
thing
life.
I don't understand about them either. How does it work? So if I'm like, no, fuck it, I'm not paying HOA fees.
The
No, yeah, you.
it's a deal. You signed the contract when you bought the house.
Oh, so they can force you to sell
and
your
they
house?
Yeah.
Force you to sell the house. Yeah.
Oh, that's
and
bullshit.
there's such
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm
Karens
saying.
that like I've seen I've seen many times like if you just leave like your recycle bin or your trash can on the street for like if you don't take it in right after trash day and like you leave it on the street for an extra day, they'll go all Karen on you and they'll
Oh yeah,
start
you'll get
yelling
a
at
little
you.
letter and shit.
Yeah,
and-
a little nasty.
Actually, I
grandma.
think Ray was saying something about that. Like they expect you to have it pulled in like before the end of the
Yeah.
day, and it's like, no, he had it out too early.
And it's
Yeah,
all
he had
because
it out on
and
the
it's
street
all
too soon.
because it's not visually appealing. That's
yeah.
literally the only
You
reason.
can only paint your house certain colors.
Yeah.
Your front door has to be green. You can only have X amount of plants on the front porch.
Yeah.
You
It's
have to
fucking
have
stupid.
a tree, but it can't be older than 10 years because
Yeah.
it gets too big.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. In certain
Yeah.
housing places too, your car can't be of a certain age.
Oh,
and
Yeah,
yeah.
that's insane.
Yeah, and if you
Yeah.
have like a certain aged vehicle, it has to reside in the garage.
Well,
And
yeah,
you
cars
leave
can't
it
be.
outside for more than like 2 hours or whatever.
Well, and I think cars can't be parked out on some of them can't be parked out
Yeah.
on the sidewalk or on the street.
street.
Yeah.
for more than X amount of time or
Yeah.
overnight
Yeah.
or something.
It's insane.
Well, yeah,
I
that's what-
cannot handle
Fuck 'em all.
the
I'd love it.
That's my thing though. I mean, when you originality in person and independence and shit, right? I mean, if you're gonna be you, your house should be a reflection of you. There was a guy who put up he's a Marine Corps veteran, put up a flagpole in a neighborhood that we took care of when I
Yeah.
was doing sprinklers last year, and the HOA actually came in and had it removed.
Yeah. I've heard lots of stories about that
And
kind of stuff.
he went off the rails. I mean, he did some maybe not some good stuff, but he went off the rail. And for every reason, I would commend him that is 100% okay to be pissed off about that because
Yeah.
I mean, it's something he believed in. He had the Marine Corps flag underneath the American flag, and he flew it during the right times, and he half-staffed it when he needed to, and like he played by the book. I only know that because as of being in there the amount of time that he had it up, every time I seen it, I'm like, oh, that's cool, and it provides you with things. You can see which way the wind's blowing. You could, there's the
Wow.
honor. It's his
It's
thing.
his deal. Who
And they had it
cares?
removed, and he was not happy.
Yeah, I don't imagine
He
he
had
was
some
happy.
serious protesting shit in his front yard, and it was like, ooh, I don't think that's the HOA is gonna like that,
Yeah.
But
Well, they might learn a thing or two.
oh man,
So,
I was with him though. I would agree 100%. You shouldn't be able to tell me what I do on my property.
Yeah.
yeah. So
But it's not really your property. No.
Right.
I mean,
Well, at that point,
it's
you
the
know,
bank's property.
yeah. Until you pay it off, and then it's just the government's property.
But
But you
then-
still got to pay fucking taxes. on the
exactly.
shit.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like what taxes.
Two
and-
things
ugh.
guaranteed in the U.S. death and taxes.
Yeah.
Enigmas.
Yeah, no, at a certain
After
age, there's
the
a
age
you're
of 40.
guaranteed
Yeah,
income.
it's like at some point in life.
Hey, Doc, can you take off that Super Bowl ring you won in '99?
Uh,
I get that you're gonna put a glove over it to protect it, but what's it gonna do to me?
this next question, I'm with him 100% because I don't get it either, but it is what it is. Having an average of only 10 days of annual leave, and then sometimes even being looked down on for taking it.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well,
Oh, I
it all
fucking
comes
hate
back to
this.
capitalism.
Yeah, we're
It's like-
about
It's
making
free
money.
market.
That's the culture that that's just how our society works.
Yeah, did you I think I know the majority of other countries, there's some countries they have
Oh yeah,
It's like
especially
6
in
weeks.
Europe, France.
Oh yeah.
They,
Well, no.
yeah, they get a lot.
I'll give you one. The hospital, if you are an employee of a hospital around here
Mhm.
and you go to have a child, they'll give you 6 weeks,
Right.
right, as the mother. The hospital will give the father the same thing. They hook him up with the same thing, equality, that kind of. Dad needs to be there too, right?
Right.
Any other fucking business, will normally give you like 5 days at max. And there are some places that they don't give you shit. You could take the days off to be there. You ain't getting paid for shit. And that's the one for me that I'm like, okay, this is a life-changing thing. This is a huge deal to this family. Why
Yeah.
would you do that to them in the time that they need the money the most, when they're having to pay bills and now they're buying things that they have to have and they need, and we're just going to chop them off at the knees? No, you don't get shit, Jimmy.
Yeah,
You can take as many days as you want, but you don't get shit. Oh, by
Well-
the way, if I hire a guy when you're not here,
Yeah.
I was going to say, not only that, I mean, legally they can't not give you your
there's
job
a
back.
legal
Well, no, what I'm saying though
way
is
around
they
it, though.
they don't have to give you paid leave either.
yeah. They can give you leave, but you ain't getting paid.
Right.
Yeah.
You get paid whatever your vacation
Well,
time is.
So their loophole around that for the companies that do this are it's seasonal work, right? So if you're only employed for X amount of time, but you go on like unemployment, right?
Yeah,
It's still a seasonal job, and they loophole your ass.
yeah.
And so there you are. You're up shit creek, no paddle. Canoe's
Yeah.
got a hole in it,
Yeah, I was going to say there's a lot of countries that when it comes to maternity leave, they actually pay for it. And in some cases they pay for the father also to have it.
yeah, and
Yeah.
it's like months.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah,
Yeah,
And
they give you
they
time.
work less in general.
most of
Like-
isn't a lot of Europe, it's a 40-hour, it may even be less, but they're on a pretty strict, like it's a 40-hour work week.
Yeah,
They don't, you work 40 hours. That's
Right.
what you work.
Yep.
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure in some countries it's even less than that.
I
like
think-
a normal work week is less than that.
Oh my God, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah, I'm all for let's work for 2 days and fish for 5, man.
yeah.
Well, but the thing here is
That's-
you can't afford to not work that time.
Yeah,
Right.
You
The
can't.
scheduling of all your bills is so
Well,
fucking
Well,
nailed down.
and
You miss
even-
something, you're missing a lot of shit.
but even when it talks about this, I can tell you that only in the almost 15 years I've been at my job,
Mhm.
I have only taken my full vacation maybe 3 times in the year.
Yeah.
2 for sure, and I think I got to it one other time, and that is only on my children being born.
Yeah,
And I took all of my vacation in one shot, which nobody argued with because I never take my vacation, but I
Mhm.
know they weren't real keen on it.
yeah,
Yep.
And one of them I was missing a day, and I was like, well, can't I just use one of my sick days? So I just get the full 2 weeks because
Yeah.
I've literally only taken
Yeah.
one day off all year. And the HR person looked at me and said, you have to be sick to take a sick day.
yeah. So then you go, okay, and then when that day comes up, you go, I have to.
And
I'm
that's
sick.
so that's
That's what
exactly
you do.
I did it to her right in that moment. I looked at her and went, I don't feel good.
Yeah,
She gave me my sick day.
Here's and this drives me nuts too, is this new mental health, like a mental health day.
Oh no, I totally get
Okay.
that.
I'm not saying anything against that.
Believe
But
me, I
when
could use a
somebody
few.
says
Right.
that, it's like no hold. Okay, fine. Yep, let them go.
Yeah,
Like
it's
there's
like
an
you can't
immediate
even ask
legal something.
questions.
Yeah, and they're just like hands in the air. You can
it's almost like bereavement. Like it's you know what I mean.
Yeah,
It's
well,
like you just don't ask questions, and it's like okay.
yeah.
I
So
mean, kinda. I don't know.
well, and you should. I think though, as an employer, though, you should be able to ask the questions, but you at
you
the
shouldn't
same
be
time.
allowed to use those against them when they need it.
No, I don't think you should be able to use it again. Definitely be able to ask questions because, again, we all want to believe everybody's like honest and pure and
Oh,
Yeah,
doing it the
no,
right way, but
yeah,
you're always going to have the one that's going to abuse the system. So
every time.
I don't
Well,
think
and-
it's wrong to ask the questions, but I do think it's wrong to hold it against people.
yeah.
No,
Now, when
I
it comes to
agree.
like PTO and sick days and vacation, it's like I earned that shit. I'm gonna take it, and
Oh,
that's
yeah.
always been my mentality. I'll some days I'll just be like, I don't feel like going to work today. I'm gonna use a fucking sick day, or like I'm gonna use a PTO day.
Right.
And I think a lot of people do that. It's like that is time I have earned, and you cannot fucking tell me I can or cannot take that.
Right.
Like that's just how I am, and
Right.
a lot of places don't like that.
Yeah.
Well,
No, and that's
But it's
one
like
of those things
they
where
can't
it's-
really do anything about it. But in the state of Idaho, they'll come up with, right to work state, they'll come up with excuses and be like, oh, things just aren't working out. And then they'll fire
well,
you.
the
Yeah.
moving the different direction
I
is the
think the-
key line in all of it.
Yeah.
I think the big part of that is they just say it's it's the other one I don't understand. Why do you have to approve my time off, right? Well, they don't have to approve it. They just won't pay you your vacation because they didn't approve it. In my situation that I'm in, don't approve it. I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
I'll go find something else if that's how it's gonna be. Like if I'm gonna get eliminated for this, fuck it. I'll run it till they fire me and fucking
Wow.
go do whatever.
But that goes back to a lot of that is
Yeah.
the business you're working for, the managers you're working for. I mean, that all plays into it.
Yeah, for
I've
I've
sure.
never once ran into the issue where somebody was like, "Well, we're not going to approve that." I haven't ran into it, and
Yeah.
I've seen people run into it. Normally, the only time they really have run into it in mine is normally when they're trying to do it and it is a scheduling conflict and they've come up at the last minute. Like
Yeah.
you're looking at the schedule and
Yeah.
obviously every business needs coverage, right? And so Susie asked for Friday off, and so did Billy, but they both did it a month in advance. And yeah, we have the coverage. And then Janie comes in Thursday and goes, "Hey, I need tomorrow off." Well,
Yeah.
okay, why do you need tomorrow off? You
Yeah,
say
what's
you're
going
trying to
on?
be, I'm going, me and my boyfriend are going to a concert. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, sorry, that's a last minute plan. I'm not going to give you the day
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
But then that's when people like that will call in sick.
Yeah, you know they're
know?
not going to show up. You know you're
Yeah.
fucked.
Yeah.
I mean, so I'm more of the ilk. It's like, yeah, fuck it, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Because I'd rather know in advance that they're just not going to be there than
Yeah.
the call
Then
in
the guessing
sick.
game of, oh shit, who's going to call in sick today?
But I
Yeah.
think that's where it causes more of the problem is we create this because we've made it so taboo even to use our time
Yeah.
that people won't schedule it with you and that because
Mhm.
they're like, I'm going to get told no. I don't want to ask. I don't even want
Yeah.
to broach the subject.
Well, here's the other thing that this does too, and I have this is when I'm off work for more than a couple days, I start getting stressed out. Right? What's going on? What am I going to run into when I get back?
Oh,
There's
Yeah.
the what am I going to get chastised for screwing up before I left that I didn't know I screwed up before I left? You know what I mean? Because that's a big one, right? And then there's the stress of, oh my God, am I going to pay my bills? You know, is
yeah.
everything going to work out? Is this? But then all of a sudden you have this stress ball, and you're just like,
Yeah.
You don't know what to
a
do.
lot of people experience that.
there's only
Yeah.
one vacation I take, and I take it every year, regardless as to whether I have the vacation or not. And the only time that I take this vacation, I have zero give a shit, is hunting season.
Yeah.
after that, if I got to take a couple days off to go do some wild adventure or whatever, right? I'm just constantly in my head like, oh my God, I haven't worked in 4 days. This is going to devastate
Yeah.
me, you know, because you can work for a day and make $100, but you can not work for a day and they take 300 out of your paycheck. So it's like, oh my God, what's going to happen? You know, and you start building this stress and oh my God, I need to get back. You know, and then you start sleeping like shit and then your vacation's not even fun. And yeah, it's just.
Mine's never the money thing. It's what got fucked up. What am I going to about to be in trouble for? What did I forget that I should have done?
As a guy in your shoes, I can see that.
What am I going to be made feel guilty
As the new
for?
guy or the, you know, guy who's lowest on the totem pole runs into this issue where they have to take days off for a kid or whatever, right?
Yeah.
That they're not in a position where they're not worried about their money because they're living from check to check, then it's a big deal.
Oh yeah, no, 100%, 100%. I get that. That's part.
Let's work for 2 and fish for 5, man.
Yeah, no,
I'm totally okay with switching to somebody else's schedule,
dude. If I could work, I mean, really, I would have gone crazy before because I'm so ingrained to work, right? But if I could work 4 10s, if I could work,
it would be so nice.
And I don't even care what for. Like, just give me. If you told me, hey, look, 4 10s, that's it. That's all you got to work. And
between this day and this day, you have to work 4 10-hour shifts.
Fuck, I will make it work. Don't care which 4 days those are.
Exactly.
You want me, you know? Yeah, there's things I like to do on other days, but if I knew I had 3 full days off and I only had to be at work for 10 hours, and that's what people are like, what do you mean? 10 hours? Dude, I work 10, 11, 12-hour days, 5, potentially 6 days a week. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Doing the sprinkler stuff. I mean, I
in season, yeah,
for 5 days, and then you're on call for 2 of them. So you could have a mainline break, and you can't figure out how to shut it off. You're still trying to figure out how to shut it off as long as it takes you to figure it out.
Right.
Yeah.
You know. So
yeah, you don't get to walk away from that.
Right. So you know you've got somebody whose sprinkler or the main line just blew up next to their house, and you're flooding their house, and their foundation's about to float. You don't get the choice to just. Yep, it's broke and go home. No, you're stuck there until it's figured out.
So basically, for all you in other countries, our bosses are just greedy motherfuckers.
Yeah,
that's
and
why
their bosses are even more greedy.
Right,
and it just gets worse as you go up. Yeah.
So we don't understand why we don't get more time off either.
It's a reverse pyramid scheme. The guy at the bottom gets nothing, but the guy at the top gets all the stuff.
No,
so it's an upside down pyramid scheme.
Yeah, it's called trickle down economics.
Yeah,
that never trickles down.
Yeah.
So
it all flows to the top.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's
trickle up economics.
Well,
sons of bitches.
That's how it wound up working. Everybody's like, "Oh no, this will just filter down." No, it won't.
No.
If you told me I get to keep a bigger piece of the pie and I can still get the same amount of people.
If that was the case, nobody above you would be able to take or give you a bonus.
Oh yeah, 100%.
It would all come from the top and bonus all the way down. And
well, it would be structured and regulated, but we don't like regulation.
No.
So that's a bad word.
Yeah,
that's horrible. That's HOA right there, all over.
Yeah,
it is. But we get
regulations stop us from doing illegal activities, which make us more money. And by us, I mean,
them.
The man.
All right. But going along the lines of money, and this is one I actually I agree with because it's a huge frustration, and people bring it up all the time. Not including tax on retail items. So if something is $20 on the price tag, it could be $21.50 when you get to the counter. Just makes no sense. Include it prior so that people can get the change out if they need it. Not such a big issue if you pay by credit card, but still.
I think that would only legitimately matter if you're trying to figure the tax out on multiple items, right?
Well,
because it's all going to be off of that end amount.
But think about it in other countries. If you walk up and you look at it and it says, okay, it's $21.50.
Yeah.
No, the reason we don't, and I'll tell you why we don't, is it's a mental game.
Yeah, it is.
It's bait and switch.
No, it's not bait and switch.
It's $20.
It's
you get
this-
done, it's $26.
It's
Oh,
the same
fuck?
reason something is $19.99,
Yeah,
not
there is a
$20.
psych- to marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
It
it's like
is
too
selling a house,
economics.
right? You sell your house for $200,000, right? But I mean, your trailer at this point,
$199,000.
$200,000,
But you're going to
you
list it at
listed
$199,000.
$199,990, yeah.
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 And even somebody may give you more than that. But no, that is a whole psychology. It's the reason we do that is completely capitalism. And at the same time, though, how many times do we use it to justify what we're selling, right? No. I've heard it as a salesman and I've done it. No. This is, I'll even round it off. No, it's $10. No, it's 10 whatever.
Yeah.
No, it's 11. No. That's tax. We're charging you $10. Blame the government for the rest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I've seen that too, where they're like, "Hey, I'm selling you the product. The government has to,
Yeah.
do their."
Oh,
It's
my
not-
joke
I
with
can't-
everybody is it's this much. Uncle Sam's got to get his cut. But then we run into an issue because we have bordering states that don't do sales tax.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
And so then people come into our state and they're like, well, I'm from Oregon, so I
That
shouldn't have to pay
tax on
sales
it.
tax.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, you're in Idaho.
If that's the case, then you have to order it.
Yeah, you're buying it in Idaho.
Yeah.
You're paying tax in Idaho. That's how the system, but they've gone away. They've also started, though, tax now has to be calculated on websites because, yes,
Mhm.
that was the big way to get around it.
Yep. So here's my other one too. If you buy a car in a state that has a super outrageous tax on, said vehicle, right? The way they get around that is they don't let the tires touch the ground on a public road in that state, and they have it shipped to a property that they own in a state that has no sales tax or lesser sales tax.
Well, it
Because
goes.
once the car touches the road, it needs a registration, right? So if you were to purchase it in California, ship it to Idaho, where we have 6%, and I think
Well, that's
California's
where
at 9 or
that's
whatever.
where you get temp tags and temp registration. It can hit the ground. It's where you're going to register the vehicle is how they figure the tax.
Right.
But not only that, when you like finance and stuff like that, it's figured off of. Typically, a lot of those people have to go pay when they go register their vehicle. They also have to pay the tax bill at the same time.
Yeah. But
this goes back to what Matt said earlier. One of the big things people do, and where he talks about land is power. This is 100% what people use it, because you'll have people who, and they're
Yep.
notorious for this, they spend 90% of their time in California. They live there, right?
yeah.
But they own property in Montana and everything's fucking registered there, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Yep.
we have it here in Idaho. You see people rolling around on Oregon plates. And why is that? Because they own property in Oregon and all of their stuff is registered there.
Or
Yeah.
even on a smaller scale, I know people that'll go just to like a different county to register their vehicle or something.
Oh,
just
yeah.
because, it's like,
Well, and
So-
emissions is a big one with that.
yeah.
Right. So in Ada County and Canyon County, we have emissions that your vehicle has to be a certain amount or certain years old before it's not emissions testable, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, in those two counties, and I think I'm sure there's a couple more in eastern Idaho, but in those two counties that I know of for sure, people will buy, and I think they have fixed most of this problem, but they'll get a P.O. box in a different county that doesn't have that. And they'll register everything using their P.O. box so that, like, when it comes down
Yeah.
to anything with their vehicle being emissions tested, it's exempt because they don't have those emissions laws in that county.
Yeah. There's so many loopholes, and especially when we start talking about like the rich and the elite, there are so many like loopholes and things that they do that we don't even know. Like,
We don't have the capital to even start
Yeah.
to venture
No,
into
no, we
learning
don't.
those things.
but it's like they can literally go their entire lives without paying taxes through loopholes and through like I can't even remember, but they'll buy like private planes and jets and yachts, but then they'll like they have ways to not get taxed on it, basically, you know,
yeah.
like
Well,
stuff like that.
I mean, I've ran into it just on the small scale of guys buy stuff from us they buy it on their business account because they
Yeah.
can write it off, but it's all personal shit.
Yeah.
It's all their own
Well,
personal
that's a big
toys and
thing
stuff.
too, writing it off on a business account.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah,
But,
you
yeah.
really needed that 4-wheeler for your,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
your accounting business, you know.
Yeah, for your accounting business.
Gets us from one accounting trailer
Yeah.
to the next.
Wait a minute. Why did this accounting firm need a yacht?
Yeah.
Yeah. For business meetings.
For business
Yeah, ask
meetings?
those Russian oligarchs
Right.
about their yachts. It's like, hey, let's use a war. We're just gonna start seizing shit for fun.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
But all right, next one up is, and this one is kind of a big thing, and it causes a lot of people to get really upset. Tipping culture.
Yeah. Even in the US here. So the first time I went down south, I was in I went Mississippi, Louisiana,
Yeah.
and it's like I was kind of blown away because it was like the tip was basically mandatory.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck? And they were like, you know, and they were very like aggressive and just like in your face about it, and like, this is your tip. And I'm like, fuck you. Like, a tip is something you earn through your service. You don't just get like a blanket tip just for doing your job. Like,
Right.
it's like, because in where I was, it was like they all got tips and it was expected, and like, this is the tip you're going to give me. But it's like, no, where I come from, it's like you got to earn the tip. And just for the fact that they told me this is what you have to tip me, I didn't tip them. I was like, not at all.
Well,
I
so
was like, fuck you guys.
and the big one too now is the group over 5 automatically gets hit with a gratuity of whatever percentage. I think the normal one is anywhere from like 15 to 20%. Okay. That immediately right there, if I see that it says gratuity is already figured in or whatever, on
That's all
groups
you
over,
get.
I will back the fuck out.
Yeah.
I will go. We
Yeah,
will
exactly.
split the group, whatever, because I refuse
To be told what the fuck to do.
Well, right,
Yeah.
there's that, but on top of that, the service
Mm-hmm.
becomes less because they're
Yeah,
guaranteed
exactly.
X amount.
Exactly.
Well,
Because they know, oh, you know what? There's over 5 people. I'm going to get a 20% gratuity anyways. Your real go-getters will go get their extra 25%. You know, they'll go get that. They'll earn it. In a society where it's like, okay, tipping's not mandatory, they'll earn that shit.
Yeah.
Or they won't. and
no,
they're gonna
it's
say-
actually,
they
there's
don't.
a lot of countries tipping's frowned upon.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's insulting.
Yeah, because
to
you're
give them a
basically
tip.
telling them you don't pay your employee enough. So
Yeah.
let me help you.
Yeah,
do
I've
it.
heard that, like Japan and France and a lot of Europe. It's
Yeah,
how it is.
they
It's insulting.
they know you're American when you throw out a few bucks for
Yeah.
a tip.
They're like, I
Yeah.
don't want your filthy money.
Yeah.
But it goes
You
back
dirty
to
American, you.
they're not wrong though, because and tipping culture has graduated, because once upon a time tipping culture was restaurants alone.
Mhm.
That's really where you tipped at. But then all of a sudden
Well, and it was because they only made like fucking
well,
$3
because
an
They still
hour.
do. They
Yeah,
still are.
Right. They still don't
You
make
know,
shit.
it's bullshit.
That's the whole.
They
you know,
live off of tips, and that's what I think a lot of people don't understand. It's like,
Yeah.
they gotta survive too. So,
well,
but
but
it-
that creates
Right.
the great conundrum, right?
yeah,
Because you want to take, as a consumer, you want to take the stand of, you want to take the stand for them and say, no, I'm not going to tip, because that's going to force your employer to pay you more. But at the same time, you're like, man, I'm literally
yeah,
taking food out of that person's mouth because this is how they survive. But
Yeah.
it's shame on the business
yeah,
for not
for
paying them enough in the first
Right.
place.
yeah.
So, you know what? I don't want, and I've said this, I actually, to use it on another level, it's not tipping. but like we see surcharges right
Yeah,
now because
yeah.
of all the stuff going on.
Like
Everybody wants to.
additional fees and
Yeah.
all
And
this
so I'm
bullshit.
like, okay, why are you going to give me a surcharge just like you don't want to be told what gratuity to leave?
Yeah.
It's like, no, just make the price the price. And
Yeah.
it goes back to the previous thing. What am I paying? Like,
Yeah.
what does this cost?
Oh,
All
my
in.
Yeah,
favorite-
What
like
am I paying?
especially with bigger expenses, you go
Yeah.
in expecting to pay a certain amount, and then next thing you know, you got like $2,000 extra dollars tacked on. You're like, what the fuck?
Well, that's like a house, or
So,
Yeah.
I mean,
here's where I'll give you a good example. I won't use the company's name, but you ate lunch there today. Okay. And your statement to me was, man, this is a lot of food, good food,
yeah,
for a very cheap price. Now, where I will tell you they get you and where they make up for a lot of this.
The
There's
meat's
a-
actually cat.
No,
What?
no, it's good food.
that was some delicious pussy.
Nice.
They hit you with a $10 delivery fee. Not a bad thing, right?
No.
Like you can understand that. It costs somebody $10 to fire up their car and drive down there and deliver.
And I'm okay with a delivery fee if I'm too lazy to go
Yeah,
get it. That's
it's
fine. Charge
convenient.
me.
I will tell you,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is in that, and I know because I ate lunch there the day before you did. They add a miscellaneous fee of $3.
Yeah, most of the places do now.
Right, but
The difference
your
being,
$10 for your delivery, right, which is reasonable.
right?
Okay, now you add on an extra $3. I mean, you're at.
yeah.
It's just a miscellaneous fee.
like,
And that's not a
it's
tip
to make up for
No.
for
yeah,
the
no,
driver.
That's
That's
tip.
not a
No.
tip for the
Because
driver
the
either.
20% tip I left because they do a very good job. I mean, then you look at the end of your receipt and you're like, okay, yeah, that costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
You know,
Dude,
you're
so-
like, oh shit.
No, but the difference was, and actually somebody bought my lunch, but so I was in it nothing. But the other side of that, they sent somebody, so it didn't cost shit
Right,
because
so they went and picked it up.
we grabbed somebody off the counter and said, "Here's a credit card, go get
it.
me food."
Yeah.
Yep.
But at the same time, we fed 3 people for $20
Yeah.
and not
Damn.
a little amount of food,
Yeah.
know. So again, I get
No,
it.
they
It's-
do a great job.
Oh.
That company does an awesome
But
job.
I watched.
Why can't you throw their name out?
Because I just talked a bunch of shit and I don't want them to spit in my food next week.
Oh.
They wouldn't spit in your food because we
No,
we
they
didn't
won't.
talk bad shit about them.
No, if you are local,
There's a place called Diggs.
yep.
Have you
Diggs
ever been to
Pizza.
Diggs?
No.
Okay, it's up off of, so for local Boise, Idaho
Uh-huh.
people, it is off of Cole. It's like Cole and Amity, so it's south.
okay.
It's
Yeah, yeah.
south, and it's in. There's kind of. Is there a few businesses there?
I
Yeah,
think
there's
a
just
cou-
like
it's a
south of
small
the theater.
little-
There's the gas station on the corner. and
Yeah,
then-
there's
Yep.
a gas station.
Yep.
So
the golf course is right in there too.
yeah, I think that it's not a total strip mall, but they're back in there. But you can go in there and get a pound of finger steaks, which is an Idaho thing.
Idaho
I get
thing.
it. There
If
are
you're
some
listening
people
in
are
a
like,
different
"What
country,
the?"
different
Like,
state,
what are
whatever.
finger steak?
Yeah, they are steak that is breaded and fried, and being American,
fried
we,
like
yes,
everything in
Oh,
America.
we
Yeah.
love our deep friedness. But
God, and they're closed out now. I want finger steaks.
yeah, but you can go pick up. We ended up with, I don't know what else they got, but there was 2 pounds of finger steaks, right?
And a
Yeah.
pound is $6 something. It's like $7 for a pound.
Yeah,
of
And-
finger steaks.
and the beauty, and theirs are the best in the fact that
best in the business, man.
because you'll get some guys' finger steaks are really tough, right?
Yeah.
Hard to, no, these
Yeah.
are tender every time. They taste good. Yeah, I mean they're
I'm gonna have
amazing.
to check it out.
And for what you pay, that's what I'm saying is you get a good value.
Their
But
calzones are super good too.
yeah, but
And this
Oh.
is a local place.
It's a
family-
local place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have this. They have
Support
these things
local.
called. They
No.
have these things called dig bites. Digs
Oh,
bites.
Yeah, they're good too.
It's this beautifully baked ball of bread, cut, smothered, and bathed in garlic, butter, and
Yeah.
just.
Yeah.
They're so good, and they give you pizza sauce.
Oh yeah, like marinara.
Well, yeah, but it's their pizza sauce to go.
Oh,
and
nice.
yeah. Yep, I clogged arteries that day, big time. I felt it too. I was like, "Whoa!"
Yeah, it ended up being my second lunch just because I
Yeah.
couldn't say no
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah, that's
But
the
it's
funny part.
also
Somebody
what's
shows up with it, and you're like, "Oh, son of a bitch!"
but it's also what's carried me through the evening too. I was
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna be
Yeah.
so stuffed right now, but I know this is gonna carry me the rest
Yeah.
of the way.
I know I put that egg roll on your desk, and I was like, "I wonder if he's gonna eat that."
Yes,
Sure
because
as
I'm
shit.
a
I
fucking.
turn around, he's eating the egg roll. I'm like, "Ha ha!"
I'm just
Oh,
a big
man.
fat kid. I don't care.
Ah.
It's so good. And I'm very fried foods.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yep.
If you are not on board other countries, you're fucking lost
Yeah.
because
Yeah, you're fucking
Literally, you
wrong.
could fry anything. Deep fried Snickers, Oreos,
Twinkies,
Twinkies,
yeah.
ice cream.
oh my
Oh, yeah,
god,
I've
fried
seen that.
ice cream is
Oh,
so you want to know the best places to get fried ice cream, the places that do it the most?
where?
Mexican restaurants.
Oh, that's right.
It's always on the menu.
Yeah.
And it's the bomb. I fucking
Yeah.
love it.
You know the best thing about Mexican restaurants, at least around here, is you always get the chips and the salsa
Yeah.
beforehand.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think that's probably most places. I don't know.
Well, there's always, and see, I noticed it too because like you have all your Mexican restaurants that have the chips and the salsa, right? Now you have the Italian restaurants that it's bread and like all or like oil or whatever.
Yeah.
Right?
Or like cheese dip or something.
Yeah.
Oh,
or
the
or
The
like
queso
Alfredo
dip?
or the Alfredo dip.
Oh, Alfredo would be
yes.
good too.
Spinach and artichoke.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, spinach
You
and
know,
artichoke
oh,
dip.
man.
Yeah.
But now everybody does it, right?
Unfortunately, it's gone. But there was a no lawyers bar here, the
Oh,
Crescent.
yeah. That
It's
was
not
just
actually
up
gone.
here.
Yeah.
It's not gone.
No, that's off of
They just
Oh, they
Franklin.
moved?
no. So the old owner sold it.
Right.
It's still.
Yeah, but
The
it's
Crescent.
it's not the same.
I'm sure it's not the same.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
So
it's still there.
when it was
we need to go check it out.
Wasn't that on Orchard and
yeah, it
and
is. Yeah, it's still
Kind of. It's off of like Philippi and Franklin.
yeah, Philippi. Yeah.
it's not far from here, obviously,
Yeah.
but they had the bomb spinach artichoke dip.
Did they?
Yeah, it was good stuff.
Well, and it's kind of like.
And they didn't give you chips. You got little toasted
Little
breads.
pieces of
Yeah,
bread,
it was
yeah.
like,
yeah.
I'm
I don't-
hungry now.
Yeah, dude, I've been hungry like all day. I need to eat.
We don't want you to be hangry now.
I don't get hangry. I'm good.
we have some Asian snacks.
Oh, and pickle flavored
Cotton
Cotton
candy.
candy,
Yeah.
yeah. If you'll have to watch our TikTok for that one.
So, yeah, tipping culture.
Yeah.
Oh,
But yes, I'm again I just wish places would just make the product what it is, price, pay people a fair wage, and if you got to that,
That's socialism.
well, yeah, no, I get it. That's
That's how they paint it here.
Well,
You know.
that's how we're gonna battle stuff. We'll take anything. My favorite thing is when somebody calls somebody a commie socialist, and it's
Yeah.
like you realize those are
Very
two,
different
like,
thing.
totally
Yeah.
separate things.
Well, I've said it before. Say something, and then I'll be like, "Oh, great! Who's gonna come after me with whatever ist I am today?"
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if I can be them all, I don't
Well,
really care at this
And that's
point.
another part of American propaganda is like it used to be about socialism is bad and it leads to communism, but now we're in a place where it's like things are becoming more and more socialist, and it feels like we're moving into almost communism. Not like we're obviously not, but like when we have people and platforms being censored, and like freedom of speech is going out the window, and like
Well, that's what I love about our podcast is that
Yeah.
I say whatever in the flying fuck I want.
yeah, well, that's why
But if I'm
government.
not careful, this television screen to my left here will fucking
Yeah.
shut me down.
Yeah. It's like, and they justify it by being like, oh, well, it's a privately owned business, and if they want to shut you down for what you're saying, then that's their right. But at the top of these platforms, who's in charge? Who's running it? They're in the pockets. They're in cahoots with the government. You know what I mean? And where's the government going? Towards woke culture. Let's move on so we don't get into more conspiracies.
Oh, I love conspiracies. I will say the argument of privilege and right is a very difficult one.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you really start to blur some lines there.
Yeah.
Which is tough because I'm much more of there's a lot of things we clamor
Yeah, that's
as
true.
being rights that you're like, it's really
Is
a
it really a
privilege.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we blur that line so bad, but
Yeah.
and that's what degrades the real talking points of what a right is because we start throwing in what our privileges
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
Hey, your
That's true.
sister's home.
What I have actually noticed more about the whole scenario is what takes most of your rights to this whole like they don't matter thing is the fact that people use your favorite word here, they weaponize them
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
to where it's not a right anymore. It's what you're just trying to cram at somebody or use to
Yeah.
berate somebody, right? Like you have, we'll go with, since we're kind of on this topic, your First Amendment gives you the right of freedom of speech,
Right.
right? In certain places, you can't say certain things.
Correct.
Is it a violation of your right?
No.
It's a violation of your privilege.
Yeah.
Because
I don't know.
you go into somebody's house and they say, hey, we don't like this word. We're going to ask you to not say it. If you can't say it, we'd ask you to leave.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
So
see,
your
that's
privilege is that your mouth can run at whatever speed it wants. You can say whatever the fuck you want, when you want, all that shit. But you've been asked not to, and respectfully, you should abide by their right to ask you not to do that.
So in this metaphor, the United States and the government is the house, and we have to. Is that what you're saying? And we have to.
Oh, okay, now you're getting. I'm just thinking.
his is
you
a more
walk into
simple
grandma's
metaphor
house.
of
Oh.
like you literally walk into somebody's house.
So,
yeah.
I get where you're going, but yeah, his
So-
is a very simple metaphor.
See, I'm smarter on levels I didn't even know I was on.
So my thing is, it brings me to this idea that in a world without government, in a world without border, I could say whatever the fuck I want.
Right.
And,
Well, and that I think
the
is to
only
regulation.
reason, what's that?
Is more to regulation. If there weren't rules, there's no rules to hit. There's no rights. You don't need rights if there's no,
Yeah.
cap on the.
Yeah, and it's a great idea, but that leads you into people clamoring for anarchy. But the reality is, not everybody are free thinkers and want to be free thinkers.
That's why it'll never work.
So everybody, face it, there's a lot of people that just want to be told what to do.
Yeah, and
Oh,
they
yeah.
need
Yep.
to be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So they
There's
will.
there's a reason why low income,
they have been indoctrinated.
I call them peon jobs, will always get filled.
Oh
Because
yeah.
there's always somebody who needs to be told what to do, when to do it, how to do
Yeah.
it, why to do it, all that shit. And then there's the people who graduate up in the, climb the ladder because they think, well, I'll just do this instead of, hey, what do I do? Oh, well, let's try this and this and this and this. And they'll go down that road of how am I going to fix this issue without needing to call somebody and be like, hey, I don't know what to do. What do I do? Hey, what do I do? What do I do? And then it's a common thing.
Yeah, but you get the guys stuck in the middle too. They've graduated, but at the same time, they don't
can't.
want that high level either.
Yeah.
Even if they could handle it,
yeah,
they don't want that extra level of responsibility, so to
right,
speak.
Yeah.
right.
And because almost inherently, not only is there more responsibility, but there's more like bullshit and corruption.
Oh yeah,
No matter where you go, no matter what you do, it's the further you move up, the more you're like, wow.
well, there is, but again, though, one thing I say, and this makes me very American and defends capitalism, though. But as the peon workers, we also don't understand what it means to be the owner, right?
Right.
and ownership and what the
Mhm.
the liability and what they're taking on being owners. Now, does that mean they deserve 99% of it? No, but
No.
they take all the liability. So there's some part of that where you have to understand they're also willing to take the liability that you're not willing to, and there's value in that.
Yeah, I get
But
that.
I also feel like when you reach that level, it's like I feel like liability almost disappears.
It seems to on a legal front, absolutely.
Yeah, on a legal front. Like, and
This is why lawyers have ruined this country.
No, so where you happen it is, but where you happened was how lawyers got that control was you finally hit a generation of people, because you got to look when lawyers kind of really started and took off, and this is the late 70s 80s is when
Yeah,
it really took
yeah.
off,
Mhm.
and this is your Gen Xers.
Yeah.
It is.
yeah,
And they found the loophole.
And they're the ones that hate lawyers.
Yeah, but here's
like nobody's business.
yeah, because they created them. They found the loophole and they got themselves into the levels and the positions. Then they cut the loophole off and said, nope, it's ours.
Yeah.
You idiots didn't have the foresight to see this. You
Yeah.
left us to our own devices. We
Mhm.
created it. Now we shut the loopholes off. We own it.
Yeah.
And we're willing to take responsibility for it. And that's the thing. At what point does the privilege and all of that and ownership turn into responsibility, where we
Mhm.
say, well, okay, they have it, it's theirs, but at what point are they now responsible for the
but as a leader in a capitalist country, I feel like you always have scapegoats, and you
Oh.
can always blame everyone else
What do you think the
below you.
president is?
Yeah, well,
I mean, ultimately, he is your show pony.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
a senile.
And if you think that that guy is the only person making decisions, you have bumped
No.
your head.
yeah, but that's any
And I'm not talking just the president. I mean,
No,
I'm
no.
talking all, presidents of companies and CEOs and all.
yeah.
They are that scapegoat. They are the show pony.
Yeah,
And that's ultimately the company saves itself by burning the scapegoat.
yeah,
Or the scapegoat.
Yeah, but some of those scapegoats get pretty big golden parachute packages, and
Oh, yeah.
I will
Yeah.
sign up to
Hey,
be
we know
that
you're going to talk,
scapegoat.
but here's what we're going to do.
Yeah,
yeah.
you just let me know where I need to sign.
Right?
But
You know too much. You're damn right. Now give me a piece of paper that
Yeah.
says you're going to pay me for the rest of my
yeah,
life.
I'll go away. Don't worry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'll
Yeah.
go away all on my
I will
own.
never be seen in the public eye ever again. You meet this 7-figure number right here. We'll be fine.
So, last one, and then we'll do a would you rather.
Okay.
So, and there's many more of these,
Oh
I'm
yeah,
sure.
there's a ton. Yeah,
but
So
so
keep bobbing.
I can go with a heavy or a light one. Which one do you want? You want one that'll be that could be kind of heavy, or you want one that's gonna be light?
When you say heavy,
heavy.
what do you mean in
I
heavy?
mean this
Like
that means
emotionally heavy or
probably like rabbit hole,
depth?
long discussion.
It could get very in depth.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I like that one.
You want to go in depth? Okay. Well, so and these on this is BuzzFeed is where I got these
Yeah.
because it's an easy one. But so this is somebody actually saying it says some Americans, note I say some, I'm not generalizing here. Total lack of awareness about other parts of the world.
No, yeah, I think that's most
Yeah.
people. Yeah.
E.g., I've seen things like Africa referred to as a country,
Uh-huh.
people who don't know Paris is in France,
Well, that's just
etc.
ignorance. That
Yeah.
has nothing to do with global
But
awareness.
It just seems bizarre to me. And I'll
Yeah.
make this argument, or it's not so much an argument, but I will say this, and this goes for other cultures coming to America too, but us.
Mhm.
Think of for when the one thing that bothers me most sometimes when you get these questions is they're also basing it on the people who can afford to go to these countries on vacations and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Like, you got to go to countries via the military, I would imagine,
Yeah.
right? Me and you probably not going to a
I've never
foreign
been out
country.
of the country.
The closest I've been to out of the country is Puerto Rico.
Well, I guess that's a lie because I was on a fishing boat that accidentally traveled into Mexican water.
Not,
I mean, I don't
Right.
think it was an accidental thing. We caught more fish there.
yeah,
But that's the furthest out of the country I've been,
Right.
and we were like far enough that my phone went "Welcome to Mexico," and then 10 minutes later went "Welcome to the United States," and then 10 minutes later when we flew back, I mean, we were right there. So it's
Yeah.
not like we were out of the country by any means.
right.
I've been to a total of 7 states
Okay.
in the country, so I don't travel much.
I don't do a ton of travel either. I like to travel. Oh, I've been to I think more states than that, but yeah, furthest away I've gone is I got a chance to go to Puerto Rico once.
Yeah.
So you
Nice.
know, and it was interesting because even though it's like a territory,
Yeah.
it's fairly Americanized, but it's still a little different.
Yeah.
And it was kind of cool to see they have their own culture and everything else. And I will say the one thing I think Americans are really guilty of is viewing foreign countries as being light
Less-
years behind
yeah.
where we are, like
Yeah.
still living in huts and things like that, not as civilized. Like when we're like, hey, give to the starving in these countries, and some of these countries are like, knock it off.
Yeah. No, they're like we're fully like first world. Like a lot of cities in Africa, like are very well developed and they're wealthy and they do well and they don't need help, But we're like, oh, send money to Africa, and they're like, yeah, we don't need your money.
Yeah, you're actually causing more harm to our economy
Yeah.
by just giving us money, because now you're
Amazing, our young kids haven't.
Well, this goes back to one argument a lot of people make inside of our own country that people get mad of, and they blame the people on it, but it's a busted system meant to keep them on it.
Yeah.
It's welfare.
Yeah.
And that's what those other countries get mad about, is because
you want to cut some fat, let's trim
Yeah.
that right the fuck out of
Yeah.
society.
but it's a system that is
Motherfucker.
created to keep people on the system. It doesn't incentivize them.
No, well, and a lot of the people that use it abuse it, and they want to be on it because they don't have to fucking work. They don't have to do shit. Like, especially when you're looking at like foster care, which breaks my heart.
Oh,
But
yeah.
you'll see these trailer trash piece of shit Walmart moms. Like,
I
Yeah.
fucking love it.
I'm just saying, like,
But that's how they get
they'll-
money. They're
yeah,
willing
they
to
get,
take
like,
on these
over
kids.
$1,000 a month. So they'll take in like 6 kids, and they won't
yeah.
do shit. They won't work. They won't do
Oh, yeah.
anything. But they're on WIC. They're on food stamps. They're making money off of all of these kids. They treat the kids like shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, you know what I
Everything's
mean?
paid for, and they don't.
Everything's paid for.
Yeah, they're not enriching their life or taking care of them at all. They
I
are
think of
solely using them for money.
Yeah,
I think
so
of-
many of them do, and
Yeah.
it's sick.
I think of welfare in the sense of the zoo. You've now just look at it, right?
Yep.
You take these wild animals, and
Right.
you put them all in cages,
Walmart moms.
and yeah, right. Okay, you take all of the wild Walmart moms,
Sorry, I
and
have
you put them
nothing
in
against
cages
Walmart
in the
or
zoo,
moms.
It's all good.
and you start feeding them, right?
Yeah,
And you feed the wild Walmart mom, and you feed her and you feed her and you feed her,
yeah.
and then you release her back into the wild, right? What happens?
It comes back to the
Or
zoo,
it dies
or it
Well,
dies.
yeah, because it doesn't know
can't
how to take care.
sustain its own life.
And
So-
that's exactly what the government does to the entire country.
right. But on
Yeah.
the level,
Not just through welfare, but
right.
yeah,
but on the
anyways.
level of the welfare thing, where you're just handing it out for free, right?
Yeah.
Or I mean, in this case, not for free. You get to fuck everybody else with the bill,
Yeah,
but you literally make them dependent on welfare. And then what's going to happen the one day we don't have it anymore? We're going to trim a fuck ton of fat off of this country.
Right.
A fuck ton. Because I'm telling you right now, there are a lot of people that depend on us to go to fucking work.
yeah,
There
Because
are.
yeah.
you don't pay the welfare and they don't have it to give out, they won't give it out. They don't give it out, those people will you'll find the strong ones and the weak ones. Because the strong ones will thrive, the weak ones will die.
Well, you're still going to have a partial too. And this is why I will take a little bit of the other side, though. When you create a system that punishes you, because it does, welfare punishes you because it takes you to this brink where you can only do so much, because if you do any more, it's drastically cut.
Mhm.
So you can't make over X amount of dollars a month or you lose childcare. Well,
Mhm.
to make that extra $100 a month means you can't go to work at all, because now you're going to lose childcare that
Yeah.
costs you more than you make a month.
Mhm.
Yep.
I mean, that's why I say it's such a system designed to keep you
No,
on the system.
exactly. It's like no, and I with my ex-wife ran into that exact same thing. We made more money with her on welfare.
Yeah.
I was working and she stayed at home and watched the kids, and we were, on welfare, and we made more money that way.
Yeah, 100%.
And
Yeah.
it's like it's just fucked
Well, and
up.
that's like they came out with the big $4,000 a month horseshit, right? That like put everybody to I don't want to work, you know.
Yeah.
Uh,
And that's
they
over
got-
now, though, right?
Yeah, but what happened was you seen the people who would do whatever they had to do to not get a job
Yeah.
to keep that $4,000 a month because they were making more. Even single people making
Yeah.
more money than they could ever imagine to make with where their skill sets and stuff
Yeah.
was at
Which
getting a job.
has hugely contributed to the labor shortage right now. Like we're
Well, I mean,
still
yeah,
we're still in a
The
huge
whole
labor.
situation, I think, is kind of created.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
but I think what that's a greater sign to is that should be a greater signal to corporations, and it's not, because they're making
Yeah.
that if they actually paid
Yeah. and
living
that's the thing,
wages
too.
and stuff, it would stimulate the economy, and you would get your
Right.
workforce
Tell
back.
me where your bills go up $150 per bill every year, but my cost of living raise was 28 fucking cents. Yeah, okay, let's do the math on that horse shit.
Well,
and figure it out.
Fine, most places don't give cost of living.
I'm just
increase.
saying, you know,
No,
I mean, that's
most of them won't do it until they absolutely have to.
Yeah,
So
until
this
somebody
same worker
forces them to do it.
shortage has forced employers to up what they pay
Yeah.
wages. So when everybody said a $15 an hour minimum wage wasn't sustainable, magically all these places, because of that $4,000
Mhm.
stimulus, had to start paying everybody at least 15
Yep.
bucks an hour to
Yeah.
get them back in the door.
Yep.
But I
And
mean,
wait, how many companies have gone under? Walmart, Amazon, they seem to be doing quite all right.
yeah.
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 I mean, but that's where it defeats the other side of the arguments when we take.
And I totally agree. And I see stuff like this online all the time. And one thing is that a lot of people blame like the workers or blame people for being lazy or for not wanting to work. But it's like instead of blaming like your fellow man for having to work a shitty job for a shitty wage, like blame the corporations. Like it's like these people demanded $15 an hour to work to like flip burgers. It's like, don't get mad at them. Don't get mad at the workers. Get mad at McDonald's for paying like shit wages.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I love when people say that, well, that's meant to be a kid's job. Really? Walk into a McDonald's.
Yeah.
You
especially
I
I
mean,
mean, and
it's-
I can see it too. If it was meant to be that way, then it should be that way. Okay. One of the actual places that went out of business here this last year.
yeah.
Or I think maybe it was 2 years ago.
Well, if it
Rocky's
was
Diner.
meant to be a training center, then if it is truly meant to be a training center for youth to gain job skills, then it should actually be subsidized by the government.
Right.
No, I'm dead
No,
serious. It
and
should
I
be.
agree. And the business that went out of business, or the company that went out of business, was a local
Yeah.
here only restaurant.
Yeah, he did some shady ass shit too, though.
He did some shady shit. But one of the good things that you would always notice when you went in there is that the people serving you and bussing tables, there was one older person running the show, running each department, but there were kids. They were kids doing these jobs.
Yeah.
Granted, they were of legal working age, but they were still kids in the fact that none of them were adults except for the one person who had that department to take care of.
Right.
And obviously the cooks were
Yeah, it's for
older,
gaining
but
experience.
that was one of the things that he did really good at, was hiring kids to come in and work. Obviously, kids with no experience could
Yeah.
be paid less money. However, he never, like, he lost them after a certain amount of time. And most of those jobs, you think, okay, this kid's trying to go to college or whatever, right? So they're working here, but they're going to school. And so there's a lot of
Yeah.
that back and forth. But he did a really good job of staffing his restaurant with kids who needed a foot
Yeah.
into the
That's
world.
good.
And
That's good.
so it was really cool. Unfortunately, he did some sketchy shit.
Mm-hmm.
And
Lost himself a business.
yeah, well, I don't know the whole thing,
I don't
but I
either.
know that there was it's okay now. Oh no, now it's back in the black zone. Oh, it's okay, and back and forth. But that was one of the things I always commended him on, because he didn't put out this job that wasn't built or made for the kids in the community, because when he was hiring people, this kid needs a chance. Let's give him a chance. Instead of, this guy's on his fourth chance, let's give him a chance. And it was, this kid needs a chance. Let's give it to him. That's where I think most of your kids' jobs, right? Your kids getting into the world or going to school and trying to fund, pay their bills, but still do what they need to. It has lost any and all of that, because now you have adults who have made poor life decisions, and now this is all they can get.
Yeah.
Because
and sometimes it's not even poor life decisions. A lot of
sometimes
times
there's
it's
just a shitty situation.
It's just like you can't afford to go to college. You know what I mean?
Well, and that goes back to the argument. We could take that to the argument of the student debt, which again, though, that's a big issue. I can tell you that was one of the hardest things when I went to school, and I had student loans for a little bit before I quit going to school. But fuck, it was looming over your head, and you're working a job that pays you shit, that you can barely afford your rent and to eat on.
Yeah.
And now I'm supposed to, and the worst part is they'll let you furlough, but it's always this looming, hanging over your head type of deal. It's tough to tie all of this back into America's oblivion to the rest of the world.
Yeah.
But when I liken it to, it's no different than when other affluent people come to the U.S. They act the same way. It's not so much an American issue. It's a class issue.
Well,
it really is.
Yeah, that everything comes down to that. Even when it comes down to like racism and stuff, it's never actually about race. It's about class.
Yeah,
it's
100%.
about rich versus poor. And I see so many times like black culture, and like I'm like, what are you talking about? Black, like that was my childhood. Like like it has nothing to do with black or white. This has to do with being fucking poor. It's like when you look at poor white kids and poor black kids, there's no difference.
No, but we have done things to we do things to keep each side poor, but historically we've done some worse things,
some
to
really fucked
the
up
black community to keep
black
them poor,
and Native Americans specifically.
Yes,
very bad.
But it ultimately comes down to a classist thing.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know exactly how to weigh in on the whole Americans not knowing anything else, because here's what I'll tell you. If you don't know something and you don't have the ability, or not necessarily the ability, if you don't have the ability, you can't do it. But if you don't have the mindset to go, you know what? I wonder how another country deals with this, and fucking Google it.
Yeah, right.
Google is in your pocket anymore, right?
Well,
so now you can Google these things to learn these things from other. And I get that there's maybe a filter or whatever, but at the same point in time, it's like somebody comes here, sees that somebody comes to Idaho from another country and they're like, "What is frisas?" You know,
Well, somebody comes from another state, to
Another
Idaho.
state,
yeah,
and
and they're like,
Idaho
"What
is
is
just-
frisas?"
I was gonna say Idaho is kind of its own little bubble.
boy?
Yeah.
But you get people who come into the country, and I only use fry sauce because literally that's I don't fucking go anywhere or any of that shit.
Fry sauce
I
and
think it
finger
was-
steaks, baby.
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah.
But they're just as oblivious to us, like
Yeah.
you said.
Yeah.
No, that's so true.
And
It
the
is.
funny part is there's so many ways to figure that out, but
Yeah.
nobody wants to step
Or
outside that
I
border.
think
I don't
that-
think it's a why don't they? I think it's a why don't they want to know?
Yeah.
There's truth to that.
And I think honestly, it doesn't. I don't know. Like you hear, like France is notorious for being super snobby and shitty to people from other countries.
Right.
Even if you like put in effort and you really try to speak their language, a lot of them will like snarl at you.
They
and
look
give
down
you
their
looks and
nose
be
at
like,
you.
Well,
Be
that's
like,
yeah.
you-
I hate to see the
But
guy
it's
in a
like-
Mexican restaurant who's whiter than me and goes, "Gracias." Okay, first off, if you butcher it, don't fucking say it because
Yeah.
that's like an
No.
insult right there in itself. But why? They're
But
could
yeah,
see
that's what I'm
trying
getting
to-
at. Is really it comes down to I think people just need more empathy. Like
Oh,
that's
100%.
literally all it is.
Yeah.
It's like he's like if some French guy were to come here and try to speak American, I'd be super patient with them. I'd be all like trying to figure out what they're saying, try to help them out, whatever. And I'd be like, oh, it's so cool. Like, it's awesome. Good to meet you. And I think Americans actually do that a lot to other people
That's
from other countries.
one of the things that, and this
the
was
language barrier.
well, no, this was going to
Fucking-
be one of my topics for another show at some point. Is one of the things that other countries talk about visiting America is they actually talk about how
friendly.
overly nice.
Yeah.
No.
No.
How overly nice and friendly
Yeah.
Americans are in
Yeah.
America. And that's where I go back to outside when you're seeing the more affluent.
Mhm.
And that's part of where we get this. I don't want to call it a stigma because I really do think as Americans, we have a level of arrogance.
Oh, we do.
we-
And ignorance.
Yes,
Yeah, for
we've
sure.
got Murica
Yeah.
down to a science.
Thanks, bud.
Well, no, it's reality. We're kind of the bull in the china shop. I think
Yeah.
it's a very American mentality, and I don't think it's wrong for other countries to believe this. When we walk in the door, there's a level of confidence in being an American that you're like,
Oh,
I know how to do this. Let's go.
And that
Yeah.
just reminded me of something else I've heard from people from other countries is they say that Americans are so loud and obnoxious. Like
Yeah.
Oh my god, I think that's just because we like loud music.
No.
And it just
they
fucked us
say
up,
we
and
like
now we all yell at each
speak
other.
loud and
Well, and part of one of the things we do, and this is, I don't know if it is other countries, but Americans in particular, and we do it even American, when we talk to somebody who speaks a foreign language,
Oh my god.
we talk to them
we
like
talk-
they're children or
we
like
treat
they're
it like
we
if
yell
we,
at them.
yes, we speak
like,
louder, they're
Motherfucker,
magically
he's
gonna,
not deaf.
yeah.
He's Hispanic.
yeah.
That's the one you always hear here because and this too on the language barrier, right? Most of them know more than they're leading you to believe because you immediately believe
Assume,
that
yeah.
you
Yeah.
assumed that they don't know it in the first place,
Yeah.
right? So I believe there's a fault on both sides of that.
Oh, yeah.
A,
No.
you shouldn't take advantage of that. You should, if you can speak English, you should make this problem go away. If you can't, or if you see somebody, you shouldn't immediately assume the fact that they can't speak the language you speak.
I will also say though, there's a level with Americans, and again, I don't know if it's other
Oh my god, I
countries,
love the old people.
but no,
You can't tell me that the old people aren't the worst for this.
well, they are, but there's the other part of that is
Boomers.
we have this, I consider it a nasty habit, but I think we have this nasty habit of we assume people who can't speak English, American English, we immediately treat them as they are less intelligent than we are.
Yeah.
100%.
I just
Yeah.
kind of yeah. It's like you talk to them like they're a dog like a toddler or something. You're like,
Yeah.
do you need help?
Oh, it's never that quiet.
Yeah.
Do you need help?
This is water. You
eat
drink
with this
it.
fork.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's just
I-
funny. I always wondered how it works for sign language though.
Yeah, that's.
How do you yell in
They do,
sign
yeah,
language?
they do something. You
I
just start
I think
yelling at
it's
them.
just
It's like,
the
no, they're definitely
intensity,
deaf.
the intensity in the face and of the hand movements, probably.
I'd love to see somebody do that to somebody who's deaf, and they're just getting yelled at because they're different. Right?
Well,
They're
and even then,
like, what the
there's a
fuck?
language barrier because in America we use American Sign Language, and the rest of the world.
Yeah,
does
but if you
not use
compare every
American.
language, though,
Right.
every language has there's different slangs, just like there
Yeah.
are accents and things like that. Even in the United States, if I was to go down south, you could pick me out after a sentence that somebody from the south says that's completely different.
Yeah.
You know, you go to Brooklyn, you're like, yeah, that's not the guy from New York, from Brooklyn. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
so I kind of see where that. I mean, it's the same thing with dialects. I mean, ultimately, that's just a fancy word for slang.
Yeah. Accent. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Regional accent. I think this just came to me, but I think there might be some like geopolitical like effect on this. Like in America, we live in a fucking massive country, huge country,
And it's spread out.
and it's spread out and huge population, and it's so diverse. It's like, but then you look at Europe, and it's like tiny in comparison. And there, but how many countries are there? There are dozens of countries, and they're all hopping between country to country, and like everyone has a different culture, everyone has a different language, but they're all kind of like meshed into one. So it's like that's why they have this like, they're more cultured, they know more languages, they're more educated. And I think it's because of that. But in America, it's such a big country that like we don't have to leave the country. We don't need to. So, and that it's almost like most people will never leave the United States. Like most people that are born here never leave.
No, you're never gonna.
Traitors.
Well, but that's kind of the idea of the United States initially, was basically all these
This
states
is the place to go.
all these states being kind of their own little countries, but
Yeah.
united under this one kind
Yeah.
of governing body. Which,
Yeah.
Well, that's been broke up, and
well, but
they play
the
that game, but it's not a game.
that's the initial idea, right? That's that whole ideology of
Yeah.
like, hey, this is what we want to do. We all
Mhm.
walk in with the bright eyes of, hey, we got this great plan, and then
Yeah.
we're like, well, we fucked that up.
Yeah.
Yeah. It didn't
Yeah.
take long.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're kind of deep into it, so I'm gonna hit us with the would you rather, and then we can wrap her up. You guys ready?
Yep. Let's do it.
I think I got a good one. Would you rather wear the same pair of underwear for a week, or wear your mother's clean underwear for a day?
This to me is easy. Like, no doubt.
I-
So I have like in the military, like I went weeks and weeks at a time in the same clothes, in the same underwear, in the same socks.
right?
Oh my god, the sock thing freaks me out.
So it's like, and I change my underwear and socks like like when I'm out in the field and stuff or whatever, like as often as you can, but you go without showers for weeks and weeks and weeks, and sometimes
But
I'd have
eventually, none of that shit's clean.
no,
Oh,
it never
yeah.
is. The stuff I have in like all my military clothes, it's still like it's stained with the reek of like the military and of
Oh.
sweat. But no, like so like I've done it already. I would wear my own underwear for a week for sure. Easy.
Yeah,
Come on, Brock. What you got, buddy?
as much as I would love to put on clean underwear, I'm not putting on any woman's underwear, let alone, I mean, my mom's, whoever. I'm not putting on any woman's clean
Yeah.
underwear. So I
I don't know.
I will go weak in dirty chonies.
If I had a
My
you know.
socks, barefoot.
Yeah.
If it came down to socks, nope.
Yeah.
I would take them bad boys off, and I will. My
Yeah,
feet
or
will be
just go
tough as shit
commando.
by the end of the day.
Yeah. No,
Because I can't. Sock. I have a thing with the socks, but the underwear, yes, I'm gonna live in mine for a week.
I feel like I should have asked this one on Facebook. I think I could have got some good comments to it.
Yeah.
Regardless, I'm actually going to diverge from both of you. Nah, fuck that. I'll wear my mom's underwear for one day. I don't give a fuck. I
Oh,
want
for one
clean-
day, I thought.
Yeah, I
it's-
thought we were doing the same
Nah,
week thing.
fuck
here.
it. I'd wear my mom's underwear for a week. As long as I got clean underwear, clean mom's underwear every day that week, fuck it.
Yeah.
I want clean undies.
Yeah.
It ain't no 2 day in that
It's like,
shit.
And maybe it's just I don't know.
I would go
Wipe
commando
better.
before
Yeah.
I did dirty underwear. Nope. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe we can flip it inside out to get this
You're
dirty
and
day
that-
out.
that's-
You're gonna get at least 2 days out of it where you can flip it inside out.
No,
Yeah.
but I don't care. I will rock the women's underwear. I'll even send you booty pics every day, just so you have to live in the peril
Come
of
on,
it
I
with
don't
me.
want to throw up tonight.
Eh,
What the fuck is wrong? God damn it!
what's wrong
Send
with
you
me?
booty pic? No, motherfucker, don't do that.
Well, I'm just saying, it'd be funny.
It would be an eye opener to figure out what kind of underwear your mom wore.
Oh, I'm sure it's classic old white
Could you
granny
imagine?
panties.
Could you imagine the one kid who's got the hot mom? You know,
Right, the MILF.
Here you go. Here's your thong.
Oh fuck!
God damn it!
Damn it, mom.
This isn't underwear.
Yeah,
This
I
is
was gonna
dental
say,
floss for my ball sack.
Yeah, what else you got in there? You gotta have something else in there. I'm just saying, I need the clean underwear.
No.
Not.
See, I
I
figured-
can appreciate doing the military thing, and maybe if I was ever in the military and had to do it, I could get over it. But no, if I have my
Yeah.
choice, if I have options, if it's not an option, it is what it is. But if I got options, no, clean undies. Don't give a fuck what they are. I don't, I don't care if it's like.
I mean,
here-
eventually you wear them long enough, and I don't know if we could do it, but you're starting to burn holes in things where it's like, I don't even have underwear on right now.
Well, yeah, I mean that happens. That's why I
Yeah.
say, if I gotta go commando over anything, I don't know. I'm not a big commando guy either, so
No, because you catch the zipper on the end of something there, and it's a little like, oh my god.
no. So
There's a tragic moment there where
you can all have your dirty underwear, man. I want clean shit. So I don't care what it's got to be, but I want clean shit.
I want clean shit. I don't think those two things go in the same sentence.
Well, they do today,
I want clean shit. Well, you go ahead and put hand soap on it.
right? Wash it. I'll wash it in the creek if I have to.
Uh-huh.
So, anyway, that will wrap us up for this episode. Again, check us out on our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Like us, share us, tell all your friends. Again, participate with us. We appreciate any kind of comments, feedback, topic ideas. I don't care if you just want to email us and tell us to go to hell or fuck off. I'm cool with that too.
Any kind of input, man.
Yeah, we just want
Freedom of speech.
Yep. Any kind of input. We're not going to censor you here, but beware, we may say shit you don't like in return.
Uh-huh.
So it's a two-way street and we will run it. But as always, thank you and good night.